mean, you look at people and you think, oh, it's like, well, they're just lucky, or they just, it just happened for them. And you don't see the day to day, the week to week, the month to month, where it's like, okay, we did this, it worked. We did this, or that failed, or that worked. That wasn't as oh, that guy took our money. Crap. Okay,
Yes.
we made money. And it's just all these little steps. It's never like and not for anybody really.
Right. Exactly.
It's never a straight line, and you're always like doing this little thing here, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and you feel like it's a grind. But then you look back and you're like so much further than where you were. What's up, guys? I'm Zap, and this is Jericho, and we are the now 6-time international award-winning pop hip-hop music duo, Band of Future. We do clean, fun music that everyone can listen to with a sound that is uniquely Californian. And right now, you are tuned into the Life's a Circus podcast, where we talk about things that are funny, interesting, and ridiculous. And before we jump into this episode, do us a huge favor. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, and make sure you share this video with another musician, because this is a very, I would say, inspiring video.
That sounds lovely.
And just because it is, and not because it's about us.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Springing this on you. I think because we've been doing Band of Future for about 3 years now, and I do a lot more of the business stuff, so I think I have a different perspective as far as seeing like where we were and where we're headed, and how far we've come and stuff like that. And I was looking at a chart the other day that started at like day one and up until now, and it started at 0. Everything was at 0. Like,
of course,
we had nothing. And I think it's cool to share, like, with musicians especially, but like with people just in general, just like what happens when you just keep working at something. And then how interesting our story is as far as how we got started and how we went from like literally 0 to where we are today. I mean, it would take forever to take the whole story, but what I'm like really focused on today is the thing that really launched us. And that's the John Lennon Songwriting competition or contest.
Yes.
I forget what it's called. One of those two. Which is just like, I was just thinking about that the other day and how crazy that is. Because John Lennon, someone who is obviously not with us anymore, one of the Beatles, who were like one of the biggest groups, if not the biggest group of all recorded music history.
Yeah, right.
And how that group and that person, years after his death, influenced 2 people who do hip hop music in a genre that wasn't even established when he did music, and literally launched our careers in a different direction. Like, it's normal for us because it happened to us, but it was just like, I thought about the other day and I was just like, that's so weird. It's crazy, and it just shows like the power of music, the power of like legacy, and how much one person can change, lots of other people's lives, and like not even be around to see it. But it's just amazing how much influence people can have. But I'm talking too much. What are your thoughts on like how far we've come, what that contest did, how it affected us, and how it got us started, all that kind of stuff? Or you can tell a little bit about the story from your perspective.
Well, it was cool to have success out the gate. And I think that's always an interesting thing, because some people don't have that, and so they got to fight a little bit more. But what that reminds me of is
Oh, let
maybe
me put a pause in that. Sorry, I
okay.
didn't really explain it well. For people who don't know us, uh, our very first song was called "We Don't Care," and the very first recording we ever put out, and that's the recording that won the 2 awards in that Lennon contest, and also a Telly Award for the music video. But continue.
Oh yeah. It's a good point to bring out. But so our journey, starting with the John Lennon Award on our first song that we released, was kind of, well, it's a blessing, of course, but not every group has that, and it reminds me a lot of how labels deal with groups now versus back in the day. Because back in the day, if an artist didn't hit right away, it was fine. They got a lot of grace. They got a lot of backing still, like financially, and like just saying, hey, we believe in you. So Prince didn't come out the gates firing. Bruce Springsteen didn't either. Tom Petty didn't. A lot of these groups that are legendary now, and these individuals that are legendary now, didn't have that success right away, and people would still back them until they found it. Give them 3 or 4 albums, years. People don't know that song "Dream On" by Aerosmith. Everyone, the biggest song, they actually released it twice, because the first time no one dug it, nobody, and then they got a little more success, and they said, let's release it again, and then it blew up. So that is kind of what a lot of new artists now have to go through, but just with themselves, right? If you're independent, you don't have anybody that's backing you like that financially, you got to do it all yourself. You have to be patient with yourself. And a lot of people, what they do, unfortunately, is they treat themselves like labels treat artists now, where if you're not hot from the jump, you're cut or you're shelved, and that's it for you. And then you're just kind of in limbo. So a lot of people have this, like, they want to get it right away. And so I think, knowing us, even if that hadn't happened, we would have still stuck with it and pushed through. But just for the people, my word to people that are listening that may be musicians trying to make it, is that even if you're in that period where it's like the first year doesn't work out, the first 2 years doesn't work out, you've got to give it some time. I was listening to Mahalia. She's a British singer from England, and she said it took her a good 10 years to get to where she is now. And that's normal. Any artist person, I think, even if they come out of nowhere, they were grinding somewhere without too many people's eyes on them for a long time. So you got to give yourself some grace. But when it comes to us, we got a little bit of success, and that's always nice to give you some encouragement to fight through, because always these ups and downs when it comes to this industry. But you've got to think long term regardless, because if that had been the first thing we did, and then we were like, cool, we made it, we hadn't done anything, like, there's still things to do. So to keep going forward regardless of how things start out, because it's a long game. And
even, like, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that we work on individually, but even listening back to that song, we're like, we did that. It was like, but it's just a test. One, it's a testament to, and I think you've admitted before, like, there's some things on the production that you would have changed on that song. But it's a testament to all of the elements working together to make a song work. Because I think the lyrics of that song overshadowed any production flaws. I think people were so, like, moved by the lyrics that it just carried the song anyway. And there's something to be said about the emotion of a song too, because again, that song was written after 2020, talking about race relations, and it was very visceral, if I'm using that word right.
I'll take it.
So. It was a very emotional. I don't think I've ever, like, really written a song like that. And I hadn't written a song in like 10 years. And before, when I was trying to write, I was just trying to write something cool and catchy. And this was just like, this sucks. I'm going to write it down and just put it out. And it was just interesting. We were talking about the AI and stuff. Like, it's the human connections in that song that this just above whatever note or whatever sound there's something in that song.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what I was going to also say is um, just the life lessons that you get. That, I mean, you look at people and you think, oh, it's like, well, they're just lucky, or they just,
Mhm.
it just happened for them, and you don't see the day to day, the week to week, the month to month, where it's like, okay, we did this, it worked. We did this, oh, that failed, oh, that
Mhm.
worked. That wasn't as oh, that guy took our money. Crap. Okay,
Yes.
we made money, and it's just all these little steps. It's never like and not for anybody
Right.
really. It's
Exactly.
never
That's
a straight line, and you're always like doing this little thing here, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and you feel like it's a grind, but then you look back and you're like so much further than where you were. So I mean, I said that to say this: there's things that but then there's like the unknown, I
mm,
guess, that you never find out until you start doing it. And
exactly.
so it's like you can't be afraid of failure. You have to like if that's like, and this is just one of the lessons I've learned just by doing this, and maybe you could share like something that you learned by doing this. It's like you have to try it.
Mhm.
There's no, you can't know, okay, for sure this is going to work and then we're going to do it. It's like, I come to you all the time. This looks like a good idea. I think it's going to work. I have no idea what's going to
Right.
happen.
Right.
Bro, I have no idea. Like
Yeah.
this could be great. We could like just fall on our faces, but we have to try it, because either way we learn, this didn't work, but this part of it was useful for the next thing we're going to try. You know?
Exactly. Everything's a learning experience. And if you think about the first people that did, like the first A&R people, the first managers, they were just like friends of the band, whoever, like, oh, I think I can do that. And they probably messed up a million times. So you
Mhm.
just you have to try things out. And of course you have to find the balance between planning and doing. I think
Mhm.
that's really big because a lot of people spend, I think, too much time in one or the other, and they either just go and make a lot of mistakes so they didn't really plan it out, or
That's a good point.
they plan and plan and plan and they never take action. I know people I've worked with where they recorded the song 20 different times, like literally, and it's like, okay, and they never released it because they were
Mhm.
always like, I wonder if it could be better. Yeah, of course it could. If we did We Don't Care today, would it be better? Yeah. Would I put the 808 and the bass in the same key? Yeah, I would. But that's okay. It's not a recipe for disaster because the song "Yeah" by Usher, if you listen to it, the 808 has nothing to do with the rest of it. Like, it's so crazy how not right it is, but how right it is.
Uh,
So it's not a set in stone thing. But all I'm saying is that you do have to, at some point, go and actually make judgment based off of what happened instead of just theorizing. This doesn't feel like the right move because otherwise, what do you think? I don't know. What do you think? Let's talk about it. Let's come back to it in a week. Okay, let's come back to it in 2 weeks. What do you think? If we try it, and it's just, I know a lot of people who are dope, by the way, who really should have someone that says just go for it, see what happens, because
yeah.
they'll learn more through doing than just planning. So yeah, that's
Mhm.
the ultimate thing. That's what this has taught me, that you plan well and then you do the thing, and if it doesn't work out the way you expected, okay, back to the drawing board, but at least I got that experience.
Yeah. And especially with this industry, like people have to understand that nobody knows what's going to work, because the industry is based on like the public, which is the most fickle thing in the world.
Gosh.
They like you one day, they hate you the next day. And you got to understand, like, there's not multi-million, billion-dollar movie companies. Like, this is what I learned when I started doing the acting and stuff like that. Like, they have no clue.
Mhm.
They have an educated guess, but they will spend millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on a movie just for it to flop and no one to go see it.
Yep.
So, like, think about that on our scale. Like, you just have to, the name of the game is to just to keep putting stuff out there.
Right.
Like, eventually you figure it out. Kev on Stage, one of the people that I started following recently, I mean, and he's had a lot. One of the people who has just literally built from the ground up. Like he's not a Hollywood person. He just literally started on social media and just built from zero. And I remember him saying like, even now, like I have no idea what's going to hit. I just keep putting stuff out. And then one day something hits, or this hit or that hit, and then you learn and you try to make more stuff like it. And then, you know, eventually you're on TV and doing Spectrum commercials.
Good for he did a thing about the chiropractor. Did you see that?
Was it a commercial?
No, it was just a post.
Oh, okay. No,
And I thought it was hilarious. And compared to some of his other videos, no one liked it. And I thought it was amazing. So
yeah, so subjective.
Yeah, exactly.
So the moral of the story is to keep doing what you're doing.
Just keep swimming.
Learn from your mistakes, but keep trying, man. Because it can't do anything but get better if you just keep working at it. I used to think that was just like so cliche, but if you literally just keep doing it and keep making adjustments, that's a key thing. You can't just keep doing the same thing, but you keep making adjustments, 1% better, eventually you're 100% better, 500% better, 1,000% better. Like that's the way it happens, man.
That's true. That's true. Keep going. Don't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
Hold on to your. Oh man, I wanted to say it. Dang it! All right, hold on to your dreams. Hold on to your dreams. I'm not going to say the last part.
Hold on to your dreams.
Yeah, but I'll tell you later. That part's good. It's just that I wanted to add something to it, a little spicier.
I see.
My shoulders here. Anyway, I can't say it, so I won't.
Okay, well, that's been a mysterious ending to the Last Circus podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with somebody who needs some inspiration, man.
Baby, get them.
Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be inspired in every phase of life. Inspired to help people. Inspired to love your family. Inspired to even do your job. Because you know what?
If you don't have the inspiration to do your job.
Inspiration.
If you don't have it, what happens?
If you don't have it, they might come and take it. They might come and take your job as the inspiration. Oh, we don't care. John Lennon, the Beatles. Oh,
they took our jobs. They took our jobs. They took our jobs.